Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. The Bachelor Season 29 winner Juliana Pasquarosa clapped back at a fan who tried to place her against runner-up Litia and questioned her new fiancé Grant Ellis' motives in the fantasy suite. Grant and Juliana became engaged at the drama-filled Bachelor Season 29 finale, but the show made it appear as if he was divided between her and Litia until the very end. During his erratic fantasy suites episode, he considered terminating the show early and leaving with Litia. However, Grant decided to continue his connection with Juliana and eventually proposed to her. In an ex-post, reality TV commentator Zachary Reality stated that Juliana had answered to a fan who questioned Grant's reasons for picking her over Litia. He posted a screenshot that appeared to be from the comments area of one of Juliana's TikTok posts. The fan said, "He chose you because you gave up on the fantasy suite while Litia did not. Litia is far too elegant and suitable for him. He settled for you. He wanted to pick her up till the last moment." Grant revealed that he had been celibate for a year before to the Bachelor Season 29, due to a difficult breakup. During the show, he indicated that he was more concerned with forging emotional connections with the women Juliana, Litia, and Zoe McGrady in the fantasy suites than physical ones. Although the show did not reveal what happened behind closed doors, Litia informed Grant before the overnight portion of the date that she did not feel comfortable getting intimate with him at that time in their relationship, and he was perfectly cool with it. This is what the fan meant in Juliana's post. Juliana's remarks seemed to indicate that Grant was not intimate with her either. Juliana's answer to her critic was quite protective of Grant and his reputation. She didn't enjoy the idea that the fan made an assumption about their fantasy suite date, and she responded fiercely, demonstrating that she will always defend Grant. "I believe this is significant because their relationship will be highly public, and they will need to support one another through it. There is no reason for fans to set Juliana and Litia against one another." Unfortunately, Bachelor Nation followers appear to overlook that the leads and candidates are actual people with genuine emotions. They attack them on social media, but Juliana's response demonstrates that she will not stand for it. She will defend Grant, especially if people share inaccurate information about him. Juliana and Grant have a strong bond, and if they continue to support one another in this way, they will live happily ever after. The end of The Bachelor Season 29, like any other season, brought with it a storm of controversy, drama, and emotions, but nothing could have prepared Juliana Pasquarosa for the intense scrutiny that would follow her engagement to Grant Ellis. While the show made it appear that Grant was torn between her and the runner-up, Litia, during the highly dramatic finale, it was Juliana who would ultimately leave with the rose, and a fiancé in Grant. But the aftermath, as it often does with reality television, was messy. Fans, as obsessed as they are with every twist and turn, started scrutinizing every moment, and that included the ever-so-sensitive fantasy suite episode. The episode itself was filled with tension, uncertainty, and plenty of awkward pauses as Grant seemed to be wrestling with his emotions and his decision. The speculation about Grant's true feelings ran rampant, particularly in the moments where the camera focused on his hesitation about picking between Juliana and Litia. The camera cut to moments that made it appear like he was most drawn to Litia, and the ambiguity stirred up drama that lasted far beyond the airing of the episode. As the public continued to pick apart every scene and word said during the Fantasy Suite segment, one particular comment on social media caught Juliana's attention. A fan, presumably an ardent supporter of Litia, made a comment on a TikTok post by Juliana, expressing their belief that Grant chose her only because she was more submissive during the overnight portion of the date. "He chose you because you gave up on the fantasy suite while Litia did not. Litia is far too elegant and suitable for him. He settled for you. He wanted to pick her up till the last moment." While the fan might have assumed that Juliana's response to the comment would be one of meekness or defensiveness, they couldn't have been more wrong. Juliana was quick to clap back, making it clear that she would not stand for the public skewed narrative surrounding her relationship with Grant. Firstly, let's get something straight. Juliana's reply began in the comments section. Grant and I have something special that no one can understand except us. The way people are trying to pit me against Litia is not only unfair to me, but it's also unfair to Litia, Grant, and the entire process. What's been put out there is a show, not our real life. Juliana didn't hold back as she continued, calling out the unrealistic expectations fans often have when they watch reality television. Grant chose me for reasons far deeper than anything a social media critic can understand. What happened in the fantasy suite was between us, and frankly, it's nobody's business. We're both adults, and we made decisions that were right for us, not for anyone else's approval. The remark came after the fans' assumption about the intimacy aspect of her relationship with Grant during the fantasy suite. In the fans' view, the fact that Juliana didn't seem to engage in physical intimacy in the fantasy suite was a mark against her and somehow diminished her connection with Grant. It was clear that the fan, based on their words, was under the impression that Litia's more elegant demeanor had made her a better fit for Grant in the long term. But Juliana was having none of it. She firmly reminded her followers of the one crucial fact that they often overlooked when dissecting reality television relationships: these were real relationships, built on real emotions and real people, not just scripted moments on TV. The fantasy suite episode had been particularly complex for Grant Ellis, and it was clear that he was struggling with his emotions. Before filming began for The Bachelor Season 29, Grant had been open about his struggles following a difficult breakup the year before. He had chosen to be celibate during that time in his life, wanting to focus on healing and growing emotionally before jumping into a new relationship. During his time on the show, Grant revealed that emotional connection mattered more to him than any physical intimacy. The show's portrayal of his hesitation and back and forth between Juliana and Litia was, as many fans noted, particularly intense. But what wasn't fully disclosed on screen was the depth of Grant's introspection, especially in the days leading up to the fantasy suites. When it came time for the overnight dates, Grant's mind was focused on making sure that his connections with each of the women were rooted in something real and meaningful. Litia had expressed to Grant during the fantasy suite segment that she wasn't yet comfortable with intimacy. She made it clear to him that their relationship, though promising, was still in its early stages. Grant, respectful of her boundaries, did not push the issue, and they shared a quieter evening that was largely free of any romantic tension. In contrast, the show's editing made it seem like Grant was unsure about his connection with Juliana, particularly as he considered leaving the show early. While the dramatic editing created a narrative of indecision and inner turmoil, the reality was that Grant had already made up his mind about his feelings for Juliana. Thanks for watching. If you likes this video, do not forget to subscribe my channel and do not miss any update.